Greetings and salutations, my friends. Okay, so this thing has been rattling about in my brain for a few months now. I'm not the first to ever speak about it or talk about it, but I'd like to pitch you, and Miles, if you're watching, anybody from Sports Interactive, good day. Don't know why I went Australian, but I'd like to pitch you an idea for a new, I think, standalone game. Now, the name is work in progress because I want to call it like football owner or football director, but we need to keep the Football Manager branding to get people on board. So Football Manager owner sounds weird, but maybe you have it a different font so it separates it. But that's a small, I think I'm getting too into the minutiae there. I think let's take a step back and talk about what it is. So anyone that has played Football Manager for any length of time will know the frustrations and annoyances of talking to the board, whether it's my pet peeve of asking the board for an affiliate team when you get free money and free players, but they're like, no, I don't think, I know we're in debt, but no. Or when you go for a job interview and they're like, what about that one guy you fell out with for a week 15 years ago? How are you going to deal with that if that comes up again? That sort of thing. Imagine if we could be the dick on the other side. Yeah, we could be the owner rejecting a coaching course or telling the manager what you can and can't do. I think it is a game. I think it's got enough detail in there to be a fully fledged game. Maybe I don't think full price, but because a lot of the work is already done. So let me take you to the top. So you'd start as an owner, just like manager. You could pick any team to start as the owner, right? Whether you would have an option for how much money you bring to the table, I think that would make sense because you could be a sugar daddy or you could be like just a good businessman taking over a club. And then you would take on the day-to-day runnings of the club. So you would look at things like, you with the help of the manager maybe or not, you would do the sort of player negotiations like the contracts and stuff. You would look after the sponsorship, so you would negotiate new sponsorship deals. Would you rename your stadium, but that's going to piss off a few of the fans, that sort of thing. I don't think we need to get to the sort of how much do you charge for the hot dogs? But you could, at non-league level, that's probably very, very important and stuff. But I think there's just a ton of really fun things that are in the game, especially if you're like me and you like those sort of management games. One of my favourite games ever was like Game Dev Tycoon. Love that game, little indie game. Second one wasn't as good, but I think there's a market for that sort of thing. And the good thing is, a lot of the work has already been done. If you're the owner of a club, let's say you want to watch the highlights, you want to watch the game because you want to see how your team is doing, how the manager you hired is doing. You've already got that. The engine's already there. So it's just like you're viewing the game. So there's so much of the game that is there. You just need to plug in the other side of it. So I don't think it's a game that's going to take I'm not a game dev, so could be talking bollocks, but it's not going to take 5 years and stuff like that. It's not supposed to be maybe a fully fledged game. It could just be like a DLC or a standalone product and stuff like that. Just think of it. You could even have network games where one of you is the owner and one of you is the manager. And just being able to set out the club's vision, structure the vision. We want to get promoted in 3 years and, repair the club's financial damage, which I never understood because you have so little control over that. But that's, and, setting out the budgets for the season, how much you're going to put into wages. You're going to give your manager a decent transfer budget, poaching other managers, working out if you sack your manager 10 games before the end of the season because you think you can get somebody else in that could do a job, the new manager bounce and stuff like that, the anti-Frank Lampard, if you will. I just think there's loads in there that is enough to make a game. I would personally love it, but obviously I'm really into that stuff anyway, so I like those sort of games. But I think it would be fascinating. There's tons more to it. Please elaborate in the comments if there's other stuff that I'm just, didn't plan this video. I just wanted to talk about it because it was in my brain and I needed to splurge my brain juice in your faces. So I just think there's a ton to it. It's very interesting, and it's not like you'd have to, like Sports Interactive as a company, it's not like they'd have to retrain a bunch of guys because now they're making a first-person shooter. All the people could do both projects, and it also splits up the release. One thing I really love about Sports Interactive, they don't get enough credit for this, is their lack of DLCs and their lack of microtransactions. I know everybody hates that shit, especially when it's kind of, it's just bolted on, or they take something out of the main game and then they'll sell it to you as a DLC. We've all seen it in loads of games that we enjoy and stuff. And I know they had that one little microtransaction thing a while ago, and that, you know, that it wasn't too intrusive. That was fine. But I want Sports Interactive to make more money, because then they can make even better games. Maybe we get a shiny new engine that looks better than FIFA. Probably not, but like, you know what I mean? Like, there's more to it, and those same people could work on both projects, and you have the game come out in November, Football Manager, and then the Football Manager owner would come out. I'm still not sure of the name. I'll put a logo up there. It's going to be good. I haven't made it yet, but I'll put it up there. It's going to be a great logo. I think you could then come out with the game with Football Manager owner in, like, you know, May, June time. Not only does that give you a nice sort of stringing effect of, so you've played the game for 6 months, it comes out, it gives it fresh, and you'll probably sell a bunch more copies of Football Manager on the back of it. You could do them as a bundle. There's tons of stuff. Please, if you're interested, I want you to go into the Twitter, or even if you're not interested, everybody watching this video, please click on the link. I'll put a Twitter pinned post, and I'll do a poll on Twitter, because I want as many votes as possible. I might be going mental and none of you are interested, right? Or maybe there's not enough to make a fully fledged game. But to me, there is. The more you think about it, just play Football Manager for a bit and just think of the other side. Think of doing the job interviews and stuff like that. I think there's enough in there for a game. I absolutely love it. You know, imagine trying to work out if you take out a big loan so you could buy a new stadium, and it's a bit of a risky investment. You know, what if you get relegated after you've done that? What are you going to do, sort of thing. And you can even have sort of journeyman type careers where you start as owner of some non-league club with very little money and stuff, and maybe you've built it up, you hire a good manager. You could, just like some owners in real life or directors, is that you could say, oh, actually, I do the transfers, and, you know, the manager is just there to coach the team on the pitch and stuff like that. But maybe you work your way up, get a couple of promotions, and your club is now worth a few million, and then it's like, I could sell it and buy another club. You know, like, there's ways to work up the ladder. Maybe there is jobs inside. Maybe you can be just a director but not the owner. Maybe there's different roles. Let me know in the comments, like, go vote on the poll especially, but let me know in the comments, expand upon the idea, tell me if it's crap, criticise it, all that sort of good stuff. Obviously, there's always risk for anybody, any company making a new game, that it doesn't sell enough to justify the cost of making it and stuff like that. But I think there's enough of a Football Manager fan base there that would buy it, that instantly get it, as well as other people that are less interested in the whole tactics side of things and football transfers, but like the business aspect, you know. And I think it would give a really good idea of what it's like to run a business. And if you didn't need selling on this whole idea, imagine this scene. You're looking at your nice new stadium that you helped design. You picked out the colours and stuff. You, as the owner, get to pick where you put the giant beach ball. Where do you put the picnic table? What random garages do you put that no cars can get to? Where do you put the multi-storey car park? Right next to the stadium, obviously. But all of them, see, look, I've sold it to you now, haven't I? But honestly, let me know if there's, like, expand upon the idea, other stuff you could do within the game. Sports Interactive, if you're watching, I know, I'm joking. I'm not the first to even think about this or talk about this, but feel free to use this. Go for it. I'd be all aboard it. I just think it's a great idea for me personally. But like I said, get involved in the comments, chat about it, add extra layers to it. Hopefully, maybe Sports Interactive might look at it and go, actually, should we have a chat about it? You know, just have a chat about it. Just have a board meeting. You've got lovely boardrooms. Go and have a chat about it. Or one of those little cubicles. Right, there we go. Thank you very much for watching. And like I said, just needed to spill my brain. It's just been crossed. I think it was because my board turned me down for another coaching course, and I was like, wouldn't it be nice to turn somebody else down for a coaching course? So I was like, and then the ideas just started oozing out of me. Right, thank you very much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.